Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to visit the Bourne area of England. It's down in the southeast. Lovely area, lots of habitat, all the things that we look for when we're looking for a sighting. And I think this may be one of the sightings that comes in and is reported as paranormal, but could be something else when we read between the lines and, pull out the details. But I'll read the accounts first and then we'll have a chat about that. But the Bourne Woods growls. Like many other historic towns and cities, Bourne has its fair share of ghost stories and UFO sightings, with many documented sightings at various locations in and around the town. One of Bourne's allegedly most haunted locations are the ancient Bourne Woods. These are on the western outskirts of the town, and these woods date back hundreds of years and have a long history of ghost sightings. Usually described as a black, hairy creature that doesn't leave the tree line, has glowing red eyes on occasion, and growls and howls. And this gets mostly reported as a black dog or a shuck-like creature, and it's said to observe people while they are in the wood. Although the creature never actually leaves the protective wood line, it is said that this dog can be heard growling loudly at anyone who is unfortunate enough to encounter its ghostly presence. A black dog of legend, or shuck as it is sometimes known, is described as a lot bigger than an average sized dog. It has a long shaggy coat, big red eyes that glow, long teeth and a slavering mouth. I presume they mean slavering, unfortunately. I think they've written it wrong, but it has slavering mouth. They disappear as mysteriously as they appear, as they are described to simply vanish into thin air. A local paranormal investigation team recently visited the Bourne Woods to investigate this location. It was reported that two members of the team refused to enter the wood after experiencing extreme fear on the perimeter of the tree line, with one actually breaking down into tears for no particular reason. The remaining members who did enter the wood were reported to make a quick escape after not very long, through a gap in a perimeter hedge, after hearing the ghostly growling of what was thought to be a dog. One member of the team quoted the following regarding the loud growling noise that had been heard from within the woods. The noise was really strange. It totally freaked everyone out. And as we were in the wood, the natural explanation of it was it would be an animal. And that's what sprang to mind, that this would be an animal, some kind of dog or wolf or something like that, due to the sheer loudness of the growl and how it seemed to surround us. I'm convinced it was not an animal. It shook everyone up, and as a result, this part of the investigation came to a rather hasty end. If we take from this account all the ghostly aspects and remove them, and the fact that this creature has never been seen, the description that's given is red eyes, growls, howls, and a creature that stays hidden in the trees. If this country had a better understanding of the wild man's habits and noises, this may have been reported as such, but alas, as always, this account became lost in the paranormal databases. I wonder just how many more slip through our fingers and become reported as howling ghosts or devil dogs. Now, I actually remember adding that account to the map, and a couple of people said to me that it shouldn't be on there. It was clearly described as a shuck. And as there had been no sightings of an ape-like creature or an upright creature in the area, that I should remove it. I agreed at the time, and that's why I put the ending on. That we, if we take out from the description that nobody's actually seen this creature, but what we are experiencing, our eyes shine, something that hides within the trees, something that howls and growls at people coming in, then it could be classed as a wildman sighting. Luckily, I was able to put this to bed in 2013, when a witness came forward from the same woods in October, and this is what he had to say. I live in Spalding, Lincolnshire, and last week, Thursday at 5:30 p.m, I went to walk my dog at Bourne Woods. It was a cold night with just a bit of rain, and it was just starting as I got there. So not many people were around. I went up to the lake area where there was a bench to rest before I moved on. I'm just sitting there and I'm wondering, because I know Bourne has its fair share of big dog and big cat sightings. So I was always on the lookout when I was around there, you know, just on the hopes that I'd see something, because I love the cryptid side of the UK. Anyway, I'm sat on the bench, it's getting cold, the rain's coming down heavier, so I decide to go back. And as I walk away from the bench, I could hear what sounded like two rocks being smashed together in the near woods behind me. So I presume some kids were mucking about and wondered why they would be out, you know, in this kind of weather, but kids are kids, aren't they? So I thought no more of it and just decided to leave. But on the way back to the car, I was being followed by someone. And this someone was making grunts and a strange noise like they were coughing or spitting or heaving on the chest. And it was really quite frightening. And I turned around and I could not believe what I saw. It was hiding in the trees and it was partially covered with the leaves, but it had a reddish coloured hair all over it. And it was only about 4 or 5 feet tall, but it was crouching and it had a stick in its hand and it was just behind the trees. I don't know why, but I followed it as it walked away until it just seemed to vanish, like it just sunk underground or something. I finally left scared and a bit confused. So he did see a creature that was hairy, around 5 feet tall, stood on two legs, that walked away carrying a stick. Now that fits in with not only our Green Man accounts, but also the American Bigfoot. And if we had a history of the American Bigfoot, I'm sure that we wouldn't be losing a lot of our accounts to the paranormal field. So if something is described as having eye shine, or you see eyes in the wood, or you hear, like this gentleman, you were followed or shadowed, in the UK, we instantly think ghost. And at the worst, we think black shuck or cat. It never enters anybody's head to think, well, this was a tall, hairy, upright creature that was walking on two legs. Maybe that could be the British wildman. Because unfortunately, it's not a household subject. It's not something people are talking about. And it's not really something that people have any knowledge of. It's only the new researchers joining and the new people out looking for accounts, and obviously the new witnesses reporting, that we're able to say now in 2017 that this may be an area that the British wildman would like to frequent. It has everything you need. It has the water sources. It has the little pockets of woods. It has the golf course. It has the, you know, the ever-present train line. It also has the underground caves. It's a wonderful area, and it's surrounded on all sides by many, many other accounts. That all seem to be a black-eyed. We've got the black-eyed creature. We've got the Langryfell Wood. We've got the red eyes at Welney Fen. We've got the two accounts from RAF's Alconbury, which both describe a standing wolf, seen by 3 different witnesses over 3 different decades. This creature was described as around 6 feet tall, hairy, and although it was described as a wolf, there was no account of ears on top of its head, and it had a human-like face, and that was seen at a military base. We also have, not very far away, all the Derbyshire accounts, and the Leicestershire accounts, the Swannington figure that Emma saw in the Martinshaw Wood. So there's lots and lots of sightings, and it's on ideal ground. It's on the Wash. It's on the National Nature Reserve. So this, you know, why not? Why wouldn't there be a sighting there? But as it stands at the minute in the UK, anything that is reported in the Bournemouth area will probably now be reported as a big cat or a black dog or a ghostly creature. So the more we get the word out and the more we ask for sightings, we might be able to change this round over time. Doesn't matter if we don't, as long as, you know, we keep plodding on, because eventually more accounts will come from that area and more people will see the figure on 2 legs, and that's generally how it works. So if you're into research, like some of you are, you're not out there doing it, but you like doing it online, check the paranormal databases. Check for Stone's Thrown, running footsteps, whispered voices, obviously out in the wood, not in homes, outside in the woods. Check the well-known haunted forests like Weardale and Pluckley. They all have a history of something that screams very loudly in the woods. That's where I'd be concentrating looking. Have a look there, because I know there's lots of people that are really interested in finding witnesses like myself and finding witnesses' stories. Forums are very good for it as well. If you can get into any of the paranormal forums, if you're brave enough like me, just ask. Just say, has anybody here ever experienced anything strange in the woods? If not, scroll through the stories and see if you can find any. Because that's how we go about it. That's what we do. And it's interesting. It's fun to do. And, you know, you're not doing anybody any harm. And if you can get in contact with the witness, I usually message the witness, or I message the blog owner or the forum owner, and I ask them to put me in touch. And when you do, and you start to speak to them, you will find other things that will come out. They'll say, oh, no, I saw an eye shine, or I saw a figure run really quickly. I just can't tell you what it was. I think it might have been a shadow man. I think it might have been the Slender Man. Or I heard knocks, and like in this instance, rock clacking. That will be reported as a ghost. If it's near a mine, it'd be reported as a Tommy knocker. And that's the problem we have. A lot of our wildman accounts and our myths and our legends are all intertwined. So that screaming lady that you probably heard about in your local area may not be a screaming lady ghost. It might be worth going to check out the area where that paranormal activity is reported. And you might just find you're in ideal ground. And let me know if you do, because I'd be incredibly interested. And you can pop on the show and we can chat about it, or I'll just put a video out for you. That's entirely up to you. So until next time, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much. Goodbye.